Hello, guys. Can you hear me? I'll be with you in a second. Hello, guys. Can you hear me? I'll be with you in a second. Gentlemen, I'll be with you. Hey, Rams, give me a high sign, man, live. Can you? Ramsey, can you hear me? Yeah.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I got you. You heard me right. I just wanted to give you, if you wanted to be on mute, yeah, I hear you. We're getting ready to get started, man. Just, how you doing, man?
Doing all right, man.
All right. Hold on for a second.
All right.
That's you, that's you, okay. You relationship, Red Pill? Red Planet? Give me a flash. Oh, there you go. What's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing, man?
All right, brother. All right. Thanks for joining. We're gonna get started in a second. I'm like the lead attorney, struggle streaming already.
You on top of your game, though. You keep putting out stuff every day. So,
All right. Give it a couple more minutes and we're gonna get rolling. This device is not connected. I don't know what that means. Everybody can hear me, right?
yeah, I can hear you.
I'm clear.
Cool. Stop the music in a second. We're gonna get rolling, huh? All right. Charles, tonight fights night. Hey, I don't know. That's you, Charles. Let me see if I can get you on. Your device is not connected somehow, so I can't bring you up. So you're gonna have to somehow get back. That's Charles. Hey, gentlemen, welcome to On the Swivel at the Sportsbar. This is my first live, so I'm gonna be struggle streaming all the way through this daggone thing. So we got an itinerary. Hey, listen, first of all, let me say welcome, man. Welcome to the channel. So Mars and Ramsey. So we're gonna talk some sports today, man. It should be fun.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna get my Stephen A. Smith on, Can y'all see this? What's up there?
Yeah, I can see it.
So this is the, if you can read this, the itinerary for the day. So listen, just some introduction. When I start, I don't know if you knew that I trademarked this On the Swivel at the Sportsbar around 10 years ago. That's when I used to go to the sports bar to watch football. And you guys can hear me pretty clear, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm speaking into my mic, so I'm gonna move it closer to me, so so I don't look like I'm just whistling Dixie. My head going all different directions. First of all, here's my. I should put my avatar up there, like you guys. Some people don't like avatars, but it's all right with me right now. This is mine. I got the sports avatar for this one. Anyway, when I started this, I was still working, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I had a website. I was going to do a blog, and I wish I would have known more about YouTube. I would have been 10 years deep in, probably making some money on this damn thing. So as I started doing the YouTube stuff, and one of my, of course, marriage, politics, and sports is my moniker. So I said, well, if I'm gonna do some sports, let me use my old sticker and banner. So it turns out that I let this thing lapse. And I had to re-trademark it today. So if when this becomes like a multi-million dollar enterprise, nobody can steal my name. You know,
So how long does a trademark last? I mean, is it
You
10
get
years?
every 10 years you have to
10 years.
redo it. And it's like like $500 fee or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just said, okay. And the reason why I came up with On the Swivel at the sports bar is because in the sports bar, the TVs are all around the damn place.
Yep.
So it's like you're on a swivel looking at everything.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the deal. So other than that, so what we have here, we're gonna talk some NBA, then we're gonna talk some of course NFL. There's some regular miscellaneous stuff. Now, just to get started, you guys want to say anything? I mean, you're sports fans. You want to say a little bit about what your fandom or whatever?
Well, I'll just say that Rich knows this, but I'm a Buffalonian, so I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. I even follow the Sabres a little bit in hockey
Oh my
every once in a
God.
while. Yeah, that's what I say too. And for the NBA, I typically follow the Knicks. I'm an old Buffalo Braves, if y'all can remember them. Used to follow them back in the day, but so I follow the Knicks. I'm probably closest.
And I'm a Baltimorean, so I'm a big fan of the Baltimore Ravens. Baseball and the Baltimore Orioles. I don't really have an NBA team though, but I do want to check out more of the tournament that's going on.
Right. Nah, the tournament. Yeah, we want to talk about that first. That brings us to the first thing. I mean, your general impressions about the tournament. I don't know. Have you been watching any of it, Ramsey or Mars?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
checked out a couple of games. I was watching the Lakers and the Suns last night, and it seems like I don't know. They played 3 times already this year. It seems like it. I might be wrong, but so yeah, I was checking it out. It seemed like the game was pretty intense. Everybody wants to go to Vegas, and nobody wants to be left out. So I think it's probably good for the league. My concern is come midseason. So you have the big push now at the beginning of the season because of the in-season tournament, and at the end of the season, of course, for the playoffs. But what's going to happen in January, February? It's going to be a lull, I think.
You think? Well, yeah. You think that's okay? So you think that's going to be an impact?
I think so. I
Well,
think the
go
the,
ahead.
the, the players, they're playing hard now. So leading up to the All-Star break, they're probably going to want to take a break.
Well, that's true. My thoughts on that is this. One, I mean, you play ball, right? I don't know if you played any balls or Mars, but if you play balls, I mean, in the park, we used to play tournament to tournament to tournament.
Yep.
And the thing that I thought this was a good idea by the commissioner, who I have a beef to pick with after the Kyrie Irving thing, um, is that these players are from the streets. So an 82 game season to just get a trophy after that long thing is what makes it more boring. That's why we see a lot more of these guys sitting out. They're more pampered now. They make more money than ever, and they and they like to take breaks. So this in season thing, I mean, if you see some of the games, man, the fans are into it. The players are into it because the money is almost secondary because 500,000 for the winner is good, but it ain't like that's shaking some of those guys' boots, right? If I'm a bench player, yeah, that 500 grand is going to come in handy.
Yep.
But I don't think I think they might go a little bit back to normal, but I think the high is going to take them a little bit. I mean, I heard LeBron talking. I mean, these guys want that trophy. They want that. They want the trophy. They want they want that accolade of being an MVP of something new, because your name gets written in the books. So I just think, and see, and the other part is they don't have to wait a whole season, because they're in the at the end, that damn playoff round robin, 7, 8, 9, and 10, to play for the last two spots. That also was a great idea.
Yeah, the play-in.
The playing games. That was a
Yep.
great idea. What say you, Mars? Hey, you call you Mars, Red Planet? They call you Mars?
I mean, yeah, you get either one. Yeah, I agree with you. It adds a little bit more, excitement. It's basically, like you said, the people that's more hungry, that's on the bench, is more, ready to, to get into it. They got more of an incentive, to show out, to grind more on it.
I agree, man. I like the whole thing. And so, I mean, I think the Lakers and the Suns was the best. I guess the best out of the four, if you ask me. I guess the Pacers and Celtics wasn't that bad, but the Knicks tried to hang in there until they got dusted in the end. And but I didn't catch a lot of the Pelicans game. So now the Pelicans are better than people give them credit for. So the Lakers can't sleepwalk those guys. And the Pacers got my man Halliburton, and he's playing well too as a young guy. So he might be an up and coming name we might hear a lot of going out into the future. But I don't know if he's going to have enough for Giannis and crew.
But Rich, you mentioned the Pelicans, hanging in there and might give the Lakers a run, but as we all know, it all depends on how healthy Zion is and his attitude. So
Man, come
that's the
on.
thing. Right now, he's healthy, he's playing, but we all know, he's going to play 50 games in the season.
Well, listen, we can't start putting generational curses on a man. Listen, so far he's been there, and the tournament ends next week. So I have a feeling he should be okay between now and the game against the Lakers, either on the second.
I
They
don't
play
know, man.
Monday. And now they play other games. That's another thing I liked about it, because the courts, right? The courts that for the actual tournament games were designed differently, so you knew which games were counted for both. Because all the games count for the season, but only specific games counted for the tournament. And so they had to distinguish that by changing the course. And it took me a while to figure out, what the hell are these courts looking like this for? And then I said, okay, when I started looking into the in-season game, I said, oh, that's why.
NBA's got a lot of money. They can flip a court like that, have a special court for these tournaments. But
What do you think that court? I mean, they have to kind of adjust the court for every game anyway, because they use those damn floors for other things when the basketball team ain't there.
yeah,
So yeah, they got a lot of money too. That's true too, though. But so I just think that was the playing game at the in-season tournament was a good thing. So kudos to the commissioner a little bit for being, to have some foresight. Now, whether that was his idea solely or somebody else helped him, it worked out. It worked out pretty well. Uh, so I like that. The well, okay, I think we touched the next one. Does it enhance the season? And I think it does. I think we kind of in agreement that it does that. It enhances the season. So, you know. So, any thoughts on that? I think we agree with that one.
yeah, definitely enhances. Like I said, though, I just think that there could be a lull after this big surge of excitement. You're going to get into February, and there might be a little bit of a lull, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So, I hear you with the low. Is the low going to look any worse than the regular season does anyway? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, man. What does a low look like with these guys, man? All these are pampered ass, dudes.
Yeah.
So the next one, I mean, did y'all focus on anybody who might be like me? I already mentioned the guy. I think Halliburton kind of started to distinguish himself as a up and coming player. Besides the regular normies that we always see, LeBron, you know, Booker was good. Damn, Durant was good in the game. You know, so yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't know if anybody got any other players that we're looking keen on. So we only got a few left. So it'd be nice to see how Zion plays uh going forward. LeBron's gonna be LeBron. He's ageless. Must be nice to be able to spend $1 million on staying healthy every year.
On your body. Yeah, Chris Paul claims he does a similar thing, spends about that amount of money. Yeah, that is a lot of money.
You know, they ain't working on Chris. Listen, they ain't working on Chris Paul. They get hurt every year.
Every
They
year.
count.
Every year.
Yeah, so yeah, hey Chris, you know, get it together, brother.
Yeah, he needs to spend $2 million, huh?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So and
Yeah.
then all right. So listen, so who you got in the championship? Go ahead, gentlemen. Who y'all got? And why for the tournament championship?
I mean, for me, that's hard to say. You know, I definitely want to see Zion, you know, do his thing. He always puts on a show, with his size and the speed and everything, and all, he always puts on a show.
So you think he gonna show out, huh?
Yeah, I definitely want to see what he's gonna do.
All right. Okay. So you know, there's a possibility there. Uh, who you got, Rams? You got anybody particular?
I think look out for the Bucks. I guess they still got to get through. I guess they got to get through the Pacers today or tomorrow, whenever they're playing. And if I'm reading this right, but look out for the Bucks because between Lillard and the Greek Freak, they're starting to get it together. So I'd like to see them take it.
Okay. Listen. Here's how I feel. If the Bucks have to play New Orleans, I think they'll win. I think they'll win easier than if they have to play the Lakers. Um, if the Lakers have to play the Pacers, I think they have a better chance of winning that game too.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only game that would be a toss up if the Pacers are playing the Pelicans. You know, I think that would be a toss up. It might even be one of the better games. Who knows? But there'll be fresh faces all over the court, though. That's for sure. Of course, the league is looking for Giannis against LeBron.
Yep.
You know, that's what they want. But hopefully, that's not what they're going to get.
Yeah, nobody wants to see the Pacers in there with. Although I like Obi Toppin, I think he's an underrated player. Um, I think that was a great acquisition by the Pacers to get him from the Knicks over the summer. So I think he's making a difference.
So you think? What do you think was a good trade by the Knicks? What did the Knicks get for him?
They just got a couple of second
Picks?
round picks. Yeah, they just got picks, so they really got, I hate to say nothing, but I think it was a good deal for the Pacers.
Yeah, watch he turn into an all-star.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I mean, he was college player of the year, during the pandemic. So nobody really noticed him because there was no tournament that year. So he was college player of the year.
hmm.
So yeah, look out for him.
Yeah, I know, and I guess he's playing a lot more there as well.
Exactly.
So
He's
I'm
probably,
sure he's happy.
yeah.
Young team, and he's on the court, so that's cool. Top. The other thing is, are you guys familiar with the Josh Giddey situation?
Yeah, with the underage girl. I haven't followed
Yeah.
it closely, but um, that's about all I know about it.
What about you, Mars? You still there? Listening. So this thing about the the thing about Josh Giddey's situation actually is not really much about him. It's about how ESPN handles, white transgression players of white players with transgression versus the way they handle black players. And so this became a real big thing with Malika Andrews because she has a disdain for black men. And every time she gets a chance to say something bad about a black man, no matter how far away it's in his past, she highlights that before she says anything else. And so when a white dude has this allegation against him, ESPN try not to mention it at all. Because they said, well, it's only an allegation, so we don't mention it. I said, well, that's not how you treat the brothers, right? When the brothers get allegations, their name is all over ESPN. And so, you guys still hear me? Hello?
Yep.
Oh,
Can hear you. Yep.
yeah. So they're all over ESPN. I don't know if you noticed that, but a lot of black people do. And when they pick Malika Andrews to be the NBA spokeswoman, for her show, half the ESPN audience can't stand her. At least the black men.
Well, I think another thing that kind of complicates it is, and I don't know if this is still the case, but a couple of years ago, Malika Andrews was dating a ESPN executive.
Uh, she still is.
Okay, so I think that's part of the complexity of it, whereby, she has to kind of follow the corporate line, if you will, because she is involved with somebody high up in ESPN.
Yeah, but the fact that she's a squirrel is not a big deal. I really think that I didn't know that, but and I didn't know the guy was that high, unless it's another white dude. But the really issue is this one guy. There's a story of a guy named Adrian Payne who was he was deleted because he went to the aid of a lady who was being physically abused, and he got shot. And somewhere when he was like 10 years old, he stole a pack of bubble gum. So here's a guy, he's dead. And all Malika Andrews could do was talk about the fact that he stole a pack of bubble gum.
Yeah,
The guy's
that's
dead.
yeah.
You know, I mean, and doing a good deed, by the way. This is it was something in his youth, some minor that he wasn't even, excuse me, did he even really get in trouble for? And so, I mean, she set off a whirlwind of hate against her for not even caring that the brother, passed away doing a good deed. Because all she could mention was the fact that he had something in his past, and nobody ever forgave her for that. Then Stephen A. came out trying to go to her defense. Captain Save a damsel, and he pissed people more off because he said, "Well, what are we supposed to say? It's just allegation." Well, y'all talk about brothers with allegations all the time. Without without no court case, without nothing, y'all always talk about it. The guy's just, he's on the commissioner's pup list or whatever the hell it is. So anyway, so that's the thing. So anyway, let me get back to the guy himself, Josh Giddey. I did some more digging. Listen, this guy's 21 years old, and the girl was supposed to be a junior in high school. So that puts her at 15 or 16. In I think it was California or whatever. He met her at a club where it's 18, and you got to be 18 or above. So the assumption and precedent has already been set that the assumption is that she's of age. So you think ain't no, let's put it to you this way: ain't no damn uh high school or a 21-year-old asking for ID.
Right.
So and then so they're investigating to see if he had an affair with her when she was 15 or 16. And I'm thinking, this thing happened. Oh, hold on for a second. Something in my throat. So listen, this thing happened last year, and he just turned 21. So he's just like a year out of high school. I mean, what kind of trouble should he be in? So any thoughts on that? See, I'm thinking that what are we going to do? Put, high school seniors in jail if they fool around with freshmen? Yeah, that happens all the time, right?
Yeah, probably so. Most likely.
Yeah, it definitely happens all the time.
Yeah.
So, so I think it's much ado about nothing, especially since she lied about her age and he didn't ask her, "Let me see your ID," before he fooled around with her until it was too late. So that's the Josh Giddey situation. So other than that, anything else on the NBA? Anybody else got anything else on the NBA? No.
I'll
But
just, just one comment I'll make since I, follow the Wizards probably closest locally, right? I'm a Knicks fan, but follow the Wizards. And, they're at the bottom of the pack again. And a lot of folks are feeling that, they're going to tank this year because they typically will finish middle of the pack or worse, but not bad enough to get, in the lottery. So watch out for the Wizards because they got like 2 or 3 wins right now. And the word is that, they may come out with 10 wins this year just to get to the number 1 pick, which is not guaranteed because it's all the lottery based, right? So just watch out for those guys tanking this year.
we'll see. I thought the tanking kind of thing was over and done with. Well, let's switch some gears to the NFL. Okay. Well, first of all, before we even get there, let's talk a little bit about the championship. Do you have any front runners in the NBA coming up that you might think of? Like for example, I think the Nuggets, Boston, Phoenix, Milwaukee, Philly. I don't know whether I pick LA over Sacramento. I think Sacramento Kings might be better than people give them credit for. So I got that order going on. I think the Nuggets could. They won last year, didn't they? Was it the Nuggets? I think it was the Nuggets.
So what you said won last year?
Yeah. What's
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yes.
They might be looking to repeat because Joker is the man.
He's awesome. Yeah.
He is awesome. He make it look effortless too. Um, so we'll see. Let me see. So I got a comment
You
here.
know, I, the thing is, though, Rich, you mentioned the 76ers. I'm not so certain. I think their time has passed. Yeah, they got a new coach. They still have Embiid, but you got the Celtics and the Bucks, ahead of them. I'm not so certain that I would put my money on the 76ers. Not that you said that you would, but I think their opportunity is really passed at this point. So I would go with the Celtics and the Bucks in the East. In the West, yeah, Lakers, Nuggets, yeah, and Sacramento is the wild card. But I think the biggest disappointment is, of course, the Clippers. They've got all of this so-called talent, old talent,
Yeah,
if you will, but doesn't look like they're going to do much this year.
yeah. I mean, yeah. That's not going to be good for my man, the coach either.
Ty Lue.
Yeah. I mean, well, first of all, the thing is, what's my man's name? Kawhi Leonard probably should retire. The reason why I say he should retire because he got chronic illness in his knees. So he can't. He's not going to be there when people need him. Because he can't. He can't play. That's the bottom line. So his playing days, are what's his. That's his problem. So
But he'll still get you 20 points a game, 25 points a game, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He will get you. He'll get you that, but you know, so he'll get you that, but but one game out of five, maybe.
Yeah.
That's the problem, man. He needs to be on the court. Now, my Knicks, see, it's in New York, right? My cable company used to show me the MSG games, right? So Comcast now has a beef with MSG, so I can't even get any Knick game. I'm paying more money, but I can't see the Knicks when I used to see them for free.
So,
And they
so
still
now,
haven't
so you got to get
resolved.
the NBA League Pass or something as
I'm not. You know what? I don't watch the regular season that much where the league pass, actually
yeah.
will be worth it for me. So just the games that come on ESPN and TNT are probably and NBA TV. I have that too. So if I want to watch basketball, I can at least see those games. And I don't see as many regular season games as I'll watch the Lakers. Of course, I'm gonna watch Golden State, Milwaukee. You got to have a play on that I want to see.
Mhm.
And if LA's playing and LeBron's not playing, I probably wouldn't watch. Or if Golden State's playing and Curry's not playing, I probably don't watch that either.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But another team that we've overlooked, none of us have mentioned, is the T Wolves. Right, they're number one
That's right. That's
in the
right.
league. Right, they're number one in the league. Anthony Edwards, and they got Carl Anthony. So they're a team to be reckoned with as well. Kind of a sleeper team, but they're number one in the league.
Yeah, well, that's right. That's right. They are a sleeper team, but I mean, they got to show me. They got to be there at the end,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm not a big Carl Anthony, Towns fan either.
Hey, he would look good in the Knicks uniform though.
Forget it.
Trade him for Randall. I
No,
think.
Randall's playing on. He's
Yeah.
playing on. He's all right.
Yeah.
So uh, so yeah, you're right about that. Uh, it's funny. I got somebody in the back chat, and he's not really talking about this, but what do you think about the big three? Have you watched any of the stuff by? Yeah, I didn't have this on the list, but I'd like to talk about that. Uh, because he talked about the big three for the Clippers, but he jogged my memory about the big three for a tournament that was that Ice Cube runs. You ever
Oh
watched
yeah,
any of those games?
yeah. Well, I watched some of that, but not more than 15 minutes at a time. The
Well,
half court stuff you're talking about.
yeah, but he actually revitalized. He helped a lot of the old vets who needed a couple of dollars because even though they were going to put him on. He was on ESPN for a while. He was getting. I think the NBA kind of tried to
Yep,
blackball,
they did.
right? And he's got a case against them. I almost forgot about that.
Hmm.
That's not on the list now. I don't know where that's going, but Adam Silver's behind that. So after the Kyrie Irving incident, and the way Adam Silver treated him, I just think that he tolerates black folks because as long as they're his whipping boys, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
Well,
think that's his thing.
Silver is Jewish, right?
Yes, yes. I,
Yeah.
I I I didn't want to use the J word. Yeah, we use the J word. We call them small hats on around here.
uh, uh,
because
Yeah,
YouTube, man, you never know who's
yeah.
in charge of YouTube.
Hmm.
So just bear with me for a second. I'll be right. I'm gonna drop this link here. All right. Anyway, so yeah, so I think he has a case, and it'd be nice, to see if it'll be good to see the brother get some kind of, I don't know, compensation or whatever the hell they're gonna do for him, which will be cool. Hold on, so I got a call coming in, hold on for a second. All right. Anyway, I thought it was somebody trying to get on. Anyway, uh, so listen, I hope Ice Cube comes out on top with this one. Because if the NBA would have embraced the big three, like they're embracing Kim Kardashian's Skims, you know, uh, which is going to make her almost like she's going to IPO Skims, by the way, Ramsey.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Oh, yes, she is.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
valued at $4 billion after the NBA deal.
well, it's all over a lot of the NBA courts, right? I guess that's the
Yes. Well,
the
then,
the un,
they adopted her as their official, I guess, underwear or whatever the hell the
yeah.
damn Skims are. And Kanye West is still paying her $275,000 a month for child support.
And she's got as much money as he does
No,
almost.
no, 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 no. She's got way more money than
She's
he.
got more. Yeah, yeah,
Forget about that.
yeah.
She should be paying him money. So anyway, so that's that for that. Let's move on to football, man. Everybody's favorite little pastime. You know, everybody's favorite pastime. Okay, yeah. Oh, listen. Who is the front runner in the NFL? I mean, I got my teams. Who do you think is leading the charge in the NFL right now? Which team? Especially after the Philly getting beat down by San Francisco.
Well, I'd have to say reluctantly that Miami in the East, um, along with Baltimore. So if Lamar can get through the remainder of the season, I think it's going to boil down to probably Baltimore and Miami in the AFC, and in the NFC, probably certainly San Francisco and maybe Dallas.
Okay.
That's the final
Well,
four, I would say.
well, I would like to see my thing is I would like to see the Ravens versus versus who the hell I would like to Philly, to tell you the truth. I would
Hmm.
love to see that. But after Philly got their butts whipped, and the thing that the Ravens have to do is hold on to leads, you know. So so but the Ravens, okay, so I think the sleeper is the Jaguars. And if they didn't lose this game this last week, they would have been they were the number one seed a week ago in the AFC.
Hmm.
So and then the Ravens won a game, and they had a game in hand, and then Jacksonville came up lame and lost that game. But if they had the best record, they by tiebreakers they would have been leading the AFC. So they only lost 4 games, so they were sleeper, but they lost their quarterback.
Yeah, how long is he out for? I haven't heard. I watched the game
It's,
when he
it's
got
a
the
high. It's a high, the way they. Well, first of all, where's the cards?
Yeah, he walked off the field. He walked. I was thinking the same thing, Rich. You know, I thought
It
they were
took
going
him
to bring
a
the
minute.
card
Took him
out.
100. I mean, he's the quarterback. They all these guys are smaller than him, so he had to put more weight on that damn ankle than he should have.
Yeah,
And
yeah, he had to walk 100 yards to get to the locker room. Yeah.
oh shit! I just saw somebody in the chat say he's out for the rest of the season.
Hmm.
High ankle sprain. As somebody in the chat asked for about what do we think about FSU being left out of the college football tournament. Is it still only 4 teams that they're accepting, the top 4? They didn't expand that?
No, just the top 4.
So you know what? I didn't even think about college football because I didn't watch it. That I saw Alabama beat Georgia. I saw that game.
Yep.
So is Georgia still in, or
No, not
so who's in?
Georgia. So it's Washington, Alabama, Michigan, and forgetting the fourth one. But it's not
Wow,
Georgia. It's not Georgia though.
wow,
I want to say it's an SEC team.
wow. I mean, how could Georgia? I mean, Georgia losing. You know what? First of all, Georgia's still probably one of the best teams in the country. I mean, one of the top 4 teams. So Michigan, Washington, Texas is the one that got it. Oklahoma. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah,
Yeah. So in the back chat, so we got the 4 teams. You heard me?
yeah, Texas.
Yeah. Hey, Mars, you still there? Or you out? He must have conked out. Something happened to him. He got busy. Well, anyway, so wow. So that's college football. The Deion Sanders reign, came and it came and went pretty fast. So we'll see. He's losing people through the portal. Just to talk a little bit of college football.
So it's
So
amazing how things can turn around in 6 months. Where he was getting everyone in the portal, now he's losing them. So
that's true. But you know what? But his team wasn't really slated. That upset kind of propelled them in the beginning of the season,
yeah,
and it just couldn't be sustained. That's all. His team wasn't supposed to be, top team. I mean, everybody wanted the miracle to continue. They had the ratings and all that stuff going on. Then it just fell right back to the mean. You
yeah,
know.
because I think at the start of the year, the over under on wins for Colorado was 3.
Hey Trey, what's going on, man?
What's up, fellas? What's up,
Hey,
Alfred? How you
all
doing,
right.
brother?
All right. What's going on, man? Thanks for joining.
No problem, man. I told you I would support you, man.
I
These are
appreciate it.
these are my lanes, man. Sports is my baby, man.
Well, welcome aboard. We talking NFL now.
Oh
We
yeah.
talking. We right there with who you think is the sleeper teams. Who are your top teams? Your top 5 teams right now. Who you think is a sleeper?
Oh man, top 5. That's gonna be hard. But I'm a Lamar Jackson guy for
Oh
sure.
yeah,
Even though he takes more criticism than any other quarterback in the league, but I say
absolutely,
Lamar. If I was
absolutely.
going top 5, I would go Baltimore, Philly, um, San Fran. I'm not so high on San Fran, but I think they are in the top 5. 4, I still got to put Kansas City up there because they subject to have a couple of winning streaks left. Maybe 1, 3 or 4 games. And don't tell my friends that I said this, but I'm gonna throw in Dallas. You was muted up here.
Yeah, they do look good.
Yeah.
Dak is. See Dallas. Everybody has been cursed by Stephen A. Smith saying, "Just wait, and they're gonna fall apart." You know what I'm saying? So everybody's waiting for some kind of shoe to drop when it comes to Dallas, even though they look decent this year. But okay, so in the NFC, I have Dallas, and I have San Francisco, and I have Philly still. And the AFC, of course, got the Ravens, You never can never count out Kansas City. And I think Buffalo is going to be the big disappointment this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. They already had disappointment.
And Rams, you're a Buffalo guy. What do you think, man?
Yeah, significant disappointment. They're 6-6, and some of the losses have been they lost to Denver, the Jets, and New England.
Right.
So big disappointment. But if they can knock off Kansas City and they play Dallas the next week at home, then they're right back in the thick of it. So there's still some hope. And they've had a lot of success with Kansas City in Kansas City. So, we'll know after this Sunday.
Spoken like a true fan. You know what I'm saying? Spoken like a true fan. There you go.
That's right.
All right. So who do you think was the MVP of the league? Yeah, Trey, who do you think is the MVP of the league, man?
This was a conversation last week. But if I was to go MVP, just straight off, take out the positions, I would give it to Tyreek Hill.
You know what? He's at the top of my list too. I think he's he's not getting enough pub for that.
Yeah,
I think he should be one of the front runners.
Yeah. If he gets 2,000 yards, they have no choice.
Yeah, you're right about that.
If he gets 2,000 yards, especially in today's game, even though it's more of a passing league, but he predicted this before the season. And if he ends up with 2,000 yards, he should get it.
Well,
we'll see. Hey, Ramsey, who you got, man?
So I think that's an interesting choice, Tyreek. But also look at the guy who's throwing him the ball, Tua. He's not really mentioned that I've heard in terms of.
No, he's not.
He's not. Maybe Tua, because considering where he was last year with all the concussions and all the talk about he's soft, then he comes back and has this type of a season. So I think you can go a 1A Tyreek and a 1B Tua maybe, or vice versa.
Okay. Somebody got something more? Somebody said they're backstage. I can't find you. Where are you? Oh, you know what? I have to scroll down, man. All right, man. It's easy. We got Easy Money Jones up there. How you
What
doing,
up? What
brother?
up? What up?
All right.
Appreciate you having me up. What's going on, panel?
What's up, brother?
Yeah. What's going on? What you got, man, on these topics, brother?
So we're going to agree a lot here today. I definitely feel like either Tyreek or Christian McCaffrey are the MVPs. I'm tired of us talking about quarterbacks. I'm tired of us trying to force.
I think your mic is overpowering everything, brother. It's loud.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
How about now? Is this better?
If you could do it a little bit more.
How about now?
It's cool, man. Let's roll, man. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So Tyreek, MVP or McCaffrey?
That's hard. You know why? Because McCaffrey's in my fantasy. I got him on my fantasy team, man. He comes through for me like every week but one. I think Tyreek's though, man. I think Tyreek is still. I would take Tyreek over him. That's a close one, though.
He's got 17 touchdowns.
I think if he scores every game for the rest of the season, he'll win it. They're going to give it to him.
McCaffrey has 17 touchdowns?
Yes, sir.
I didn't. Man, it's going to be. Listen, it'd be nice if the competition is between the both of them. Let me compromise that much, and I wouldn't. I'm not going to get mad if either one of them wins. As far as I'm concerned, there's no skin off of my thing, but I think Hill is more of a sleeper than McCaffrey, though, because the guy's he's just eating everybody alive. He's just one dude. It's like nobody can guard him. Now, McCaffrey, the fact that nobody can stop him either is kind of amazing.
But I think McCaffrey also benefits from the scheme more than anything.
Okay, why you say that?
Because at Carolina, he was always, every 3 or 4 games, he'd be out 3 or 4 games. And this scheme, San Francisco's scheme, no matter who you put back there, they could put me back there at 50. I'll probably get 10 touchdowns. It's about the scheme.
Okay, Trey.
That's just me.
Easy buddy, how many touchdowns will you go and get? Just since you probably
Nah, I'm not that good. I think scheme is important, but I also think that the O line that the Niners have versus what he had in Carolina also helps, because if that's the case, then the person who was there before him would have experienced that same success. And I don't even think we can name who was the starting running back before he got there, can we?
I think Mostert, but he's in Miami, I think.
Mostert's no McCaffrey. He's not bad either. Though. I have him too, so I got him in. I'm number one. I'm leading the league, but that's the playoffs are coming up soon, so I don't know where I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
Anything else? Ramsey, you got anybody on the MVP? Did you mention one?
Yeah, so I was saying Tua probably, but
Tua.
Yeah,
okay.
Tua. Yeah.
No wonder we forgot what you said. No wonder.
You gotta pick a dark horse, right? You gotta think out of the box.
Okay,
right?
he's the dark horse for sure.
Yeah. I'm thinking out of the box, but then kind of the reverse MVP too. I think that would be an interesting topic. Somebody you thought would do better, not necessarily an MVP.
So who you think is down this year?
It's probably like a Mac Jones or somebody like that, where you thought he would be at least middle of the pack.
Well, what about your quarterback? He might be down. I mean, what's his name?
Josh Allen.
Yeah,
but he's leading the league in a lot of categories, one or two. I mean, he throws a lot of interceptions, but touchdowns, he's up there. Completion percentage, he's up there.
Okay.
Yeah,
but a lot of interceptions is a pretty big a lot. Man. You know what I'm saying, brother? You can't gloss over that shit. What are you talking about?
Hey, I figured I'd say it before you said it. How's that?
Oh man, that's all right, man. That's good, man.
We need
to have fans.
Yeah, a guy like Mac Jones, though, where you thought he would be, like I say, middle of the pack, maybe number 10, 12 quarterback statistically, and he's just falling off the earth at this point.
Well, his weapons ain't nothing to write home about either.
Yeah.
And I think the game is just passing Bill Belichick up. I think it's just time, even though he's earned the right to walk away when he wants to, but I think it's just time for him to go ahead and pass
Chill out.
Yeah, just pass it down to someone else. He's been there a long time. He's one of the greatest coaches ever. Well, I'll say he's in the top 5. I ain't gonna give him the greatest because there's been a lot of cheating going on over at Candlestick. So, but he had one of the, even Tom Brady, he wants to be, I want to put him on the list, but man, come on, man, you deflated balls and Spygate. You had too much, man. Come on, man. If that was me and you, man, they'd have banned us from going to a game as a fan. Like, nah, you can't come here and eat.
Probably. That might be true. Well, listen, let me ask you, let's go to the next thing.
If I could, Rich, just one comment on Bill Belichick. There's talk that he's 20 wins away from Don Shula, right, for all time. That's close enough where if I were him, I stick around another 3 seasons and get those 20 victories.
If he has a choice.
If he has a choice. But, even if he leaves New England, there's going to be some team that'll pick him up where he can get 7 wins a year for the next 3 years and, get the record. Record that'll never be broken.
This is true. Well, they said that other one, Shooter's record wouldn't have been broke, but you're right. It's not going to be broke. I mean, some of these records are going to just be lasting for decades.
Yeah.
So, but okay. So the next one is, can we finally put the black quarterback thing to bed? I mean, I know they get a hard rap when they get here, but is it time to put it to bed or not? Easy money.
Put the black quarterback. What now?
Well, put the black quarterback thing to bed. The woe is me. You know,
I think we I think we got to be careful with that because I remember a time not that long ago when they said that black people shouldn't be quarterbacks and they would take the young black guys that were quarterbacks and move them to receiver, and the fact that easily half of the top 10 of the 10 best quarterbacks in the NFL are black. Like, I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime, like, ever. So
okay.
to your point, like, I think we're at a point where there's been progress. But yeah, I don't think that we ever want to lose sight of how far we've come to just accept the black quarterback as regular.
All right. So what you're saying is that we need to maintain the victim status for how much longer?
No, I'm not saying victim status. I'm just saying we should appreciate where we are and not forget where we came from. Because it can very easily go back, very easily.
Okay, so I hear you, but the fact that you say that, right? If it was going to go back, wouldn't it go back whether we had it on the forefront of our minds or not? You think the only reason why it's not going back is because we remember the past, or the fact that the past is behind us?
I think that here's the thing. So even as I say that, I realize that maybe I'm being a little melodramatic to that point. Do I foresee the black quarterback going away in the near future? Probably not, but I can, and just kind of taking it back on a macro level, I can see football becoming less, not necessarily less popular, but less kids going into the feeder system to play football, and that in itself may impact the quality of the game. So it's going to be interesting over the next 10 years to see how many kids continue to go into that feeder system for Pop Warner and eventually to the NFL, just because of the head injuries, the concussions, the lack of guaranteed contracts. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next 10 years or so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. Well, we'll see. The NFL just seemed like it got the head of the snake looks like it's never going to come off. But everything could change. Who knows, man? The world is the way it is.
They said that about baseball at one point, and look where baseball's at.
Yeah, well, they got like 2 black people in the whole baseball. I don't know. Not many. So, matter of fact, baseball's not even on my list. I don't. Real quick, I don't watch baseball.
Hey,
how about you guys? I don't watch.
I might go to I try to make a Sox game every year with the kids.
Okay.
But that's about it for the most part because the Sox are garbage.
I played baseball as a kid, played on an all-star team, and
all right.
I had a black female coach. I had a coach that was a female. She was the head coach.
Was she good?
Man, listen, we won the championship of that league.
Okay.
She was the coach. Now, just really quick, because I know we're not talking about baseball.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't think enough young black boys play baseball. One, baseball, really, you can be in, and they sort of changed the dynamics as far as the triple league, but you can be in the double A and make $200,000 or $300,000 for 25 years playing baseball. You don't have bad knees, bad shoulders. You can travel the world. It's a great opportunity to play sports and be a part of it without getting the physical repercussions as we do in football. As far as football, I played since I was 7, my first love. And when I played, you could use your helmet. That was part of my bread and butter, running the ball. You come at me with your chest out, open arms, I'm going to put this head straight in your chest and run over you. But that was the thing when I was younger. So all of us wanted to emulate that Dick Buckus, the Steeler brand of football. I played for the Steelers. We went 13-0 the same year the Steelers won the championship, scored on one time. None of us had. I think I had a concussion in high school, but it wasn't as prevalent. And guys sort of shook it off. I think it's just that the children today, they're not running on hard pavement at a young age. You're not falling on the concrete, scratching your knees and elbows up, getting up, hiding from your mama, going home. Now the kid fall to mama like, my baby fell. You know, it's a different time. It's a different parent. A lot of parents,
You know, everybody's they're soft. They're soft as hell.
yeah, but a lot of parents that I see, a lot of parents didn't really play sports, so they don't understand the camaraderie and the discipline it brings to their child. Football and sports saved a lot of young men back in the day.
Well,
And
yeah.
it saved a lot.
Well, remember now, back in the day, also we had more sports. We had more intramural sports, more phys ed in school. Kids were a little bit more physical. Baseball is one of those things that's expensive, and there's no place to play in the inner cities with glass
Right.
all over the fields.
But
If you
again,
have a field, you know.
nobody was introduced. Very few kids are introduced to the game of baseball.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
still,
the
you
thing.
know, I mean, the change in economics also matters. You got to have equipment, and you got to have a place to play.
But our pain,
You know,
it's cheaper in baseball than it is football. Football
No,
today, these kids are paying $2,000 and $3,000 to play on
yeah,
these
but you know,
teams.
you're missing my point. You can't really have. No, I hear what you're saying, but there's still a lot of places to play football, in terms of fields and stuff like that. But you ain't play, and you can play football on the block. You can just play football. But baseball, you got to get all those guys, and you got to find a field to play. Even if you want to play a pickup game, how are you going to even do that?
I
Not
can
in some of the
understand
inner
that.
cities I've been in. I mean, you can't even get on a field without glass everywhere.
Well, in the South, it's a little different. It's a little more fieldy. You know,
Yeah, okay.
you convert baseball and football fields pretty much. You have
Yeah,
goals. You know what I'm saying? So
I
it's a
got
little
you. Yeah, I
different.
guess
You know,
where you come from matters. Yeah, it does.
yeah. So
But let's move on to the last thing. Von Miller. The last thing I have on my. Anybody familiar with his situation?
I'm very familiar with it. I actually wanted. I'm glad this is on your docket.
Yeah, so before we get there, I'm gonna show you a video, a video of something I have, an update. So bear with me, I'm gonna share it. Hold on for a second.
Ford has some new reporting from the woman who called 911. What would she say now?
Well, yeah, Chris, in a series of text messages, she told us that her and Von Miller are doing fine. She said that things were blown way out of proportion and that this whole thing is, quote, actually outrageous. It's a major pivot from what authorities told us yesterday morning. I want to start by sharing some of the audio from the 911 call she made.
Well, we're going to check in getting hair. My hair's out.
You said this was your boyfriend?
Yeah,
Is he black, white, and Hispanic?
he's black.
Oh,
wow,
Jesus Christ!
wow.
Von Miller.
Now, we just got Miller's mugshot from police. The Buffalo Bill linebacker is facing charges of assault on a pregnant person, which is a third-degree felony here in Texas. We also have the court documents from the incident. They say Miller's girlfriend told detectives it started as an argument about her not wanting to travel on her birthday. Told police during that argument, she slammed the door in their home, and Miller told her to leave. She alleges as she began collecting her belongings, Miller shoved and pushed her as she yelled, "Stop, I'm pregnant." And he grabbed her neck and pulled out a chunk of her hair. In the report, one of the responding officers says he saw her bruises and called them, quote, consistent with applied pressure to the neck. We reached out to both Miller and his attorney for comment and have yet to hear back. The Buffalo Bills released a statement saying they are aware of the situation, and the NFL says they are in contact with the Bills.
All right, so let's stop that right there, okay? All right, so everybody got a chance to hear it. Oh my goodness, you know. Anybody, whoever wants to go first, feel free.
Yeah, I think one of the disappointing things, certainly, abuse against, a woman is certainly not tolerated. But, one of the disappointing things here is she makes the phone call and then I guess a couple of days later recants it all. So, that's kind of disappointing that that has to happen. If he did it, he should be held accountable, plain and simple, and not recant it a couple of days later after all of this is out.
Easy money.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, you know, that that the situation happened the way that it sounds. And again, right now everything is alleged because he hasn't been convicted. What I find interesting is how the team and the league are aware. They've heard the 911 call. They're aware of the charges, and they're still letting him play.
Yes.
And it's interesting to me because I know when the Ray Rice thing happened, and then and everything had already kind of been adjudicated at that point. He got a slap on the wrist initially, and then the video dropped, and then everybody went back and lost their mind. So I just think that it's interesting that 10 years removed from that they've got this incident. And you also got the other incident with him and this same woman a couple years ago, where he allegedly threatened her over text message and all that other stuff. So I just find it interesting that they're letting him play. And I wonder if there has been a bit of a shift with some of the Me Too movement losing some of its momentum.
That's a good point. Trey, you got something on it?
I don't know how I feel about this. It just seems that everything just seems to go in line with what's going on. But I'll say this: the next time somebody grab me forcefully and they leave a bruise on my light-skinned tail, I'm calling the police. You better not even poke me in the forehead and leave a bruise on me. Which, I don't know. I think she was just ready to. I think she's ready to go anyway. I think she's ready to leave him anyway. She got what she wanted. She got a baby. She got a retirement plan for the next 20 years. And, I think it's important for all guys in sports, whether it's football, basketball, baseball. I think, this is an opportunity to start providing those services to those guys, to understand that, they are always going to be in the spotlight on everything that they do outside of sports, whether it's arguing, whether it's, speeding, whatever the case may be. They have to really be cautious and really be aware of their behaviors at all times. It's just this position, because think about it, football only has 500 players. Those 500, yeah. So you're in an elite category anyway. So you have to be really careful and really dive into getting the services needed to just be able to protect yourself in all categories. I always tell young guys, don't touch it. If it don't belong to you, don't touch it. If it wants to leave, let it leave. You're going to be okay. But, it's just bad. It's just bad for everybody.
Yep.
To me, he's Jamie Foxx. To me, he's P. Diddy. To me, he's all Jonathan Majors. He's all of those guys. And he's not going to be the last. There's going to be at least 2 or 3 more before the end of the football season that's in the same position. Because they all go after that light skin, bright skin, almost white skin. So
I didn't see his girl. You saw his girl? I didn't see a picture of his girl.
Yeah, she real light skin. Yeah. They go for those. It's a complex thing to me.
Well, let's put it this way, man. I just want to. One of the things I think one of these guys, and I don't know whether it's because you got money and guys have money and stuff, I think they don't realize that women don't care about, they want the money, but that doesn't really give you as much gravitas as you think, right? So you can't just tell them what you want them to do and expect, since you're the breadwinner, they're going to listen, especially since they've already done the calculus that you can only do so much to them because they can leave and take half your shit with them. And so I believe her original call, right? And I sit down here and say to the guys, what the hell are you doing with a woman that you even have to think about putting your hands on, right? Because it doesn't make any sense to me. And it shouldn't have to do with the fact that you have money. Matter of fact, the fact that you have money means that the woman around you is a person who would least likely for you to want to do anything to, because you did a proper vetting, or else she shouldn't be in your circle, right? So, I mean, the kind of arguments that they got into is probably kind of arguments they got in before she became his girlfriend, and he still accepted her. And if she was pregnant, he knew, and she didn't want to go on a trip with her. What the hell are you arguing with her about that for? What the hell are you talking? She don't want to go, so what? Get your, I mean, so listen, he still has to go and go through it, but the DA or whoever's there is not gonna accept her recant. They don't need her. They could use a 911 call. But that whole thing, what do y'all think about the question? Is he an N-word, or is he Hispanic, white, or an N-word? That's what she might as well said that. Is he white?
I think that's standard. I think that's standard question.
So which kind of gun to bring? What is that?
Listen, this is a new phenomenon. I worked in social services, and the only thing that they called a male that was not married to the mother of the child was a paramour. It was nothing that dealt with color. I lived in Chicago, and they never, when we would get the reports, it mentioned somewhere in the report that it may have been a black male, Hispanic male, white male. But in those initial transactions, it was a male paramour. It had nothing to do with race. Nothing to do with race. Now it's, what does she say? Is he white, black, Hispanic? What is it? I mean, come on, man. They know who to send. They know who to send. Okay,
that's what I'm saying. Make sure we bring the biggest bucks. If he's black, we got to bring the buck and the extra bullets and shit. What is that easy money? What's that about, brother?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's a pretty affluent area that they're in. So that doesn't surprise me at all. They need to know if they need to send the squad car or the tank.
Can I clarify something real quick? I'm in no way, shape, or form advocating for domestic violence at all. I have 5 sisters and a mother. No way. I've been married successfully. I've never in my life put my hands on a woman outside of slapping her on the butt. That's it. I'm no way in advocate for that. And if you do that and it's proven that you've done that, then you should suffer the fullest thing, regardless of what race you are. Regardless of what race you are, you should be wheeled into jail and find your own cell to sleep in. That's the way I put it.
Yeah, so listen, the fact that the other change, which is surprising, and I agree with you, Easy. I think you brought this up, is that they didn't bench him, and he's still slated to play. I think the Buffalo though has a bye week this Sunday, right, Ramsey?
They were off this past Sunday, so they played.
Okay, so he's playing this Sunday coming up this Sunday. So my thing is,
he's supposed to be active.
Yeah, he's active. Not supposed to be. He is active. I heard the coach say he's active, and I like that change. I like the fact that he's not being, because the mere fact of him sitting out, the mere fact of them saying you can't play is the fact that that's how the court of public opinion finds you guilty. It finds you guilty because you didn't get no due process, nothing. But it looks bad, man. His girl, the fact that she recanted, and this is another thing with, I don't even want to get into it. How was she so fast to call the cops in the first place? Either she was really, really scared and she needed to call the cops, which is the fact. Let's put it this way. So we don't know what happened, but if she needed to call the cops, then he's a man who was out of control, and he's like 6'5". Men are scared of him, right? This guy is big, man. So she thought she had to, pull her hair out. And then the cop said, yeah, man, her neck is all messed up. And if they got a swath of hair that he pulled out, man, he's
weave doesn't count. Weave doesn't count. Weave does not count. Weave does not count. It does not count. He could have just grabbed it off the bed and slung it like, oh, he pulled out her hair. They could have just seen weaves straight out.
She got a bald spot in the back of her head where
because she had posted. I saw a post of her after the fact. Like, okay, really? I don't know.
I still haven't seen. Well, that's enough for that, man. But listen, I really, 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 as much as I want to say something that, she probably said something that made him mad and all this. His reaction is all his fault. Period. I don't care who you are as a man. You can't let your woman put you in a place where you're out of control. I mean, stop. Just stop it, man. I mean, I've been married for a long time. You've been married for, we all married on this panel, I think. Yeah. And we gotta have little tiffs and shit with our women. I can't imagine ever being in a position where I would want to put my hands on my wife. I mean, I can't speak for the rest of you, but I'm gonna give y'all the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying?
Not realistically, no. Like, every once in a while, I'll be like, man, you making me mad. I'm gonna throw you in the wood chipper. But that's jokes, man. That's jokes. I would never never. Absolutely not.
Yeah, likewise. I've been married for 33 years, and that's not happened, and it's just crazy to think that could happen, especially over what she described it as, that, she didn't want to travel. She didn't feel up to traveling. It was her birthday. All right, well, go on without her, whatever. So.
That's great. Anyway, so enough of that. You know what, man? Von Miller, however the outcome is, the truth of the matter is you did something to this woman. And whether, you get punished in some crazy way or not, she ain't supposed to be making no damn 911 call. That's the bottom line.
My last thing, I think she thought about the money thing that she could possibly jeopardize, because if he's in the league, he's going to continue to make money. That's also ammunition for her to leave him. Yeah. He's making over $1 million a year, and I don't know the exact amount, but I know he signed a nice contract with the Bills. So if I leave him, now I can get more money, not just
let me put it to, and in the NFL, man, they can cancel contracts like anything. So whatever they said there was a promise could be gone tomorrow. So she said, damn, man, I'm blowing the bag. I should have took this ass with me.
Hey, I kind of want to push back on that a little bit if I can. Like, I think that, especially in these, men's spaces and these type of conversations, we talk about divorce and child support and all the other stuff.
You're not married, are you?
I don't know. I don't think that. No, she said she was a girlfriend. So no, they're not even married. So I mean, that's not even taking half the stuff ain't even on the table for it. Right, and that's child support, and that's for 18 years, and and who knows if she comes for money or not. But even with that, like that notion that a woman will leave and be better off financially is a bit flawed, because if that woman stays, she has access to 100%. Like, she's got the house, she's got whatever other houses. Like the financial incentive, or at least the way that we talk about it, doesn't exist in that way. But so I just find that interesting that we talk about that, but if you stop and think about it for a second, in actual practicality, it wouldn't make sense for that woman to walk away and possibly get half.
But Easy Money, it makes sense to you as a man, but these women, they will walk away because they will have access to the money and their freedom, and they'll run up on another nug and have another child. Yeah, they choosing walking away. And plus they're not married. It's different, but these women are choosing single motherhood. If
All right,
that's the
so
case,
you're right. I opened the door, but let's not go too far down there, man.
Yeah,
Let's not go.
my bad, RP. My bad.
No, it's part of the conversation, but now we're into motivation one way or the other. The fact is that his girl had to make a phone call because he did something. That's the only thing. Unless she just picked up the phone and said, "I'm gonna put you in the trick bag," I'm hoping that she didn't do that. All right, so next, some miscellaneous stuff because we've been here around an hour, a little over an hour, 23 minutes. This will go a little bit faster. Okay, so I'm fooling around with this, and Trey and Easy Money, y'all weren't here. This on the swivel at the sports bar is a catchphrase I came up with like 10 years ago, and I trademarked it. Right, I was still working, but I didn't have no time, and I wasn't even thinking about YouTube. And I'm mad. I wish I should have been. Right, because I could have been 10 years in now, man, with my own goddamn whatchamacallit, more than 6 subscribers and everything, maybe. But so I own a trademark to that, to on the swivel at the sports bar. I have it registered with a .com registration and the whole 9 yards, and I just had it, been sitting on it, and I've been doing like an email blog kind of with some fellas and stuff. Ramsey's a part of that.
Congrats and salute on that too, real quick.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So I just said, you know what, I'm on these airwaves, and BMU gave me a chance to at least, get my chops wet on doing a live, which was interesting on Monday when my man Grant came on. Another story. And so I just said, let me do this, so let's see how, because I want to do this every week, by the way. I'm going to come up with some stuff, and whether you guys come back, I was prepared to just rattle off the jibs by myself, and get better at it. Maybe some videos, some this and that, but I'd rather have people come up when they can and start to kind of build an audience on this. This is what I'd rather go live with than the other stuff that I talk about. BMU can give, quench my thirst on his channel as a boomer, So, but anyhow, miscellaneous, there's a lot of sports podcasts out there. I mean, it's just endless, right? I mean, even Stephen A says, you know what? I'm making $10 million at ESPN, but I want to make some more bag by starting his own YouTube channel, right? He's got like almost 400,000 subscribers already. He just put his name on there, and he's growing like leaps and bounds, and he could say more there than he could say at ESPN. Then there's a few other places, and then of course, that's Ocho Cinco and what's it, Shannon Sharp. After every football game, they have like this nightcap thing, which is pretty funny, man. They're over like 400,000 subscribers, and there's countless other sports but I'm trying to think, some of these guys get inside information, but in the end, you're just talking sports, right? And certain current events. And it's like no real magic to it because I've been watching sports all my life. Just like most of us. If you're a sports fan, it's easy to go research some stuff and talk about this player, that player, this team, that team, this controversy against that controversy. And your opinion is pretty much the same as anybody else's. So what the hell? You might not have celebrity, but that don't mean you can't talk about something. That's what I'm saying. So anyhow, but you got any favorite sportscasts you'll watch?
So one of the guys I like to listen to is Ryan Clark, NFL.
Okay.
So he played for the Steelers and the Redskins, Commanders, and he's got a real good head on his shoulders. He's very analytical. He doesn't go off any script. It's all coming from his head and his heart. So Ryan Clark is a guy that I always enjoy listening to and watching.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I know for me, Bomani Jones, Dominique Foxworth are my primary go-tos for sports.
Where's Foxworth? Where's he at now?
He's still on ESPN.
On TV?
Yeah, he's on Get Up every morning.
Okay, I haven't watched Get Up in a while. Is that with Greeny?
I don't. So here's the thing: when I'm watching Get Up, it's usually on the TV at the gym and it's on mute. So I know Dominique. I can't name none of the other folks on the show.
Okay, all right,
It's Green.
all right,
Greeny's on there.
okay. I haven't watched any of the shows. Man, I think I'm like on a mini boycott of ESPN. I don't even watch First Take anymore.
I'm in the same boat, Arpe.
I don't necessarily get into the sports podcasters because, again, like you said, our pain, a lot of it is just opinionated. And the guys that have played in the league, they sort of have connections with players still in the league. So they can get a little bit more. And Stephen A., I don't know, one day we love him, one day we hate him. So I think so you can see just in the sheer numbers of those guys that talk sports, but I don't think that their opinion about sports is any better, especially if you've played sports and you've been able to play it and be successful at it. But I like my boy Swagoo, and as far as who gives to me, as far as gives a good insight about the game and position is Lewis Riddick. He sort of comes with it.
He's he, at one time he was trying to be commissioner, not commissioner, but a GM. He tries. I think he always tries to get one of those jobs. He thinks he would be good at it. He might be. Who knows?
Yeah, I like his.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, and, I didn't mean to cut you off. Some more. I just don't watch. I used to save all the PTI is what I used to watch a lot.
Yeah.
With Kornheiser and my man Wilbon. Yeah. So it's funny because we used to go on when I was working, like 5 or 6 of us would go to lunch and we would make a list of 5 or 6 things. And over lunch, we would go through the list like PTI. You have everybody, everybody go around and kind of like what we're doing now, chop it up about about certain topics. Now, we didn't always stay on sports, but it was like we called it PTI. And then we have a beer or two and stuff and just chop it up at lunch. And we've invited some honeys once in a while and did that. So it was pretty cool, man, doing that. So I watch them. So there's a lot of podcasters, but I want to keep doing this as one of my things, right? Because there's always something to talk about every week. So next week, of course, the championship game will be on Wednesday for the NBA in season thing, because I think that's the 9th, if I'm not mistaken. Well, no, it's not the 9th. What is the 9th? Sunday is the champion, I think. Sundays, I think, whatever the 9th is, that's the championship. So we'll be able to talk about the end of that whole tournament. And okay, so I have one for everybody, and I know this should be interesting. What ideas do you guys have to fix the WNBA?
I think they're doing good now. Like I like how they've put more focus on the college game. And there's
how did the WNBA put more focus on the college game?
Well, I'm saying like the media is putting more focus on the college game. Like you think about how this last women's Final Four championship game, the one with LSU and Iowa, had the same number of viewers as I think the World Series or something like that, some big event like that, where the game is growing at that level. And so basically we're now getting to that place where you'll be able to follow from college to the pros. And so that right there, getting that focus on the college and the high school game so that you can kind of have your faves that you kind of grow up with. Like for me, mine was Candace Parker, because Candace Parker's from the same area, we're the same age. And I was able to kind of watch her go from Tennessee to the WNBA and almost beyond at this point. I'm shocked she hasn't retired yet. So I think that the focus on the game younger is going to help because you're already starting to see a growth in the audiences that are coming to games and that are watching the games.
All right. Well, maybe that's one. I know about. I always thought college basketball for the women has always been more popular than the WNBA. I used to watch Connecticut, and those guys used to be like powerhouses.
Right, Tennessee.
But anybody else could go. Go ahead. I have some ideas, but go ahead. Ramsey or Trey, either one of you guys can go.
You mentioned Candace Parker a minute ago. There's this great piece on ESPN about her. Saw it this past weekend. I think it's one of those 30 for 30s or something like that. But it gave me a lot of insight into her, a lot of things that I did not know about her recent life in the last couple of years. So yeah, I would highly recommend watching that. If you're a Candace Parker fan or WNBA fan.
Okay.
But as far as what they can do to improve, they have the stars, they have the marketing. Yeah, I think they're in competition with NCAA women's, even though it's different seasons per se. But I think most people can only stomach so much of, the women's basketball. And that's not a disparaging remark or anything. It's just, I think, fact that you're going to pick one or the other in terms of what you're going to watch as far as women's basketball. And most people choose to select, the college over the pros.
Isn't the WNBA season pretty much during the summer?
Yeah, summer until
women's softball
September or something like that.
As far as the time frame, women's softball will always and baseball will always truck the WNBA as far as when the season is going on. But I think, and I thought about this when I used to watch Cynthia Cooper and the Comets sort of do all them sort of things they were doing. And I heard it the other day. I think they should lower the rim. Lower the rim. Let these women dunk, because not a lot of women can dunk on a 10-foot rim. Maybe one or two every 4 or 5 seasons you might see up. But I think if they just lower that rim a couple of inches, at least take a measurement to see, okay, how far do we need to lower it to get an opportunity to see a 6'3", 5'11" female that got some hops take off from the baseline and do a nice little dunk and stuff like it, and just make it sort of like they do in the All-Star game. They do the little points, change the point system. To me, because
that's an interesting point. It would certainly bring some excitement to the WNBA. The one downfall that I could see is that how do you really transition from college hooping 10 feet, and then you're going to the WNBA and you got 9 feet, 8 inches or whatever it is, that's
just the dynamic. And that's what saying. So because without the NBA, the WNBA during the summer, when most people want to be outside, people are playing softball and baseball at a high level. It's hard to compete. It's just hard. So I don't know, throw some I don't know, 4-point shots in there, 5-point. I don't know.
They gotta try. They do have to try something, which is good, because so your suggestion is just as good as any. Lowering the rim might be one, but Ramsey, your point is good too, because they're being trained on 10-foot rims. But I don't think dunking is the issue, and that I just think that when you're playing basketball, even at their high level, that no matter when they play it, it's always going to be compared to how men play basketball. And no matter what they do, they'll never be able to get to that. College has a different feel because, these are young ladies competing at the college level, semi-pro now, but for some reason there's an excitement because the student body brings the excitement.
Yeah.
In the pros, the women don't even buy tickets to the damn game.
No, they
don't support them. And then, I'm gonna say this, and nobody's gonna like it. I think it's too many lesbians in the league. I think that turns people off too. Because I think I saw that show that you're talking. They didn't say about the lesbians, but they talk about maybe they should wear something a little bit more appealing and play there. Not lingerie,
Show that
not
cheeks.
lingerie, but
Show
you know,
that
instead of coming out with baggy men short, and looking all butchy,
oh, man.
maybe I'm telling you, if you want, we're just spitballing here,
Makes
and I
me
don't care if they say that because men, you guys are objectifying women. Well, women objectify women, and everybody who's in the commercial enterprises, not just men, objectify women so they can get customers. They don't put the ugly chick up front to get people to come in, or else uh, you know, some big ass chick from Big Mama's house will be this, on the anchor on a newscast. That's not happening. So anyway, so a suggestion. Everybody's
so
quiet.
I'll say this. I think that to your point, that the WNBA that I kind of came up on, and you guys had mentioned it earlier. I think that was something that what you guys were just talking about with we'll call it the aesthetic of the players, was something that was mentioned back then, to where it was a little bit, to your point, gender on gender action, right? And they were largely not as, how do I say this? The main stars of the game, a lot of them weren't conventionally attractive, right? That was what was said at that time. And I think that has evolved a bit to where, you look at some of the stars of the game now, like a Kelsey Plum or Aja Wilson,
Right.
or dang, who else is good that people find attractive? Like, Skylar Diggins at one
I
point.
was gonna say Skylar Diggins. But even though easy money, you're on point. But let's put this in an analogy in the NBA, because at one point when they were all thugged out and coming to the games looking like they just came from a Crips and the Bloods fight, the commissioner said, "Yo, man, y'all gotta come to this, to the arena looking a little bit better than that. We gotta have a dress code." And everybody says, "Oh, racism, blah blah blah." And now that all these NBA players think they fashionistas, right? They're all fashion, they all got fashions and different designs now because of that change. If they didn't get worse, they made a business out of it.
Oh, the dress code got worse. These guys
Yeah.
coming in dressed on, just because it's a name brand don't mean it looks good on a man. That's all.
No, I'm not talking about the guys in dresses, man.
I'm not talking about the guys in dresses. Even the pants, they ain't even they Crocs. They wearing the Crocs. They wearing just because it's a name doesn't mean it looks good to me.
Yeah,
Some guys, if you like that, hey. But I'm looking.
A lot of them are what they call the metrosexuals, whatever the hell they call
there you go. That's what you get, a metro and a sexual.
All right, so let's move on off of that one. We're gonna fix the WNBA one of these days. Believe it or not, and I'm gonna be quick on this one because I know boxing is not dead. There's some fights going on, and people, kind of don't, you got to have a favorite boxer to know that it's not necessarily dead. It's just not one of those mainstream sports. But when the big fights happen, they make a lot of money, and there's been a couple going on that I was interested in. But just real quick before we go, there's so many weight classes. I don't know if you guys can see this. But from heavyweight down to, and I said down, I put it all the way down to junior flyweight. And the only reason why I did say down to junior flyweight is because welterweight is at 147, and they kind of they have a glut of guys in I guess lightweight category, not welterweight, but the lightweight category. But there's a guy who's a super featherweight, this Japanese guy named Inoue. That guy's a beast, and I think he can go up a couple of classes to at least get to 130. And I think if he fought at 130, his name will be all over the place because this guy's an absolute He's devastating everybody at the lower weights, and I watch a lot of his fights. Anyway, so but anybody have any favorite fighters that they're talking about? You're looking at some notable fights are coming up. Anybody? Ramsey, you watch any fights or what? Haney is fighting this guy, poor Grass, for welterweights. I don't know if you know the name. This guy, Chris Smith, is a champion. He's fighting another contender. Of course, Jake Paul is like the journeyman white dude everybody's fighting. He's finally fighting this dude, Andre August, who outed his girlfriend. I think it's Jake Paul. Anybody knows about these guys? Or is Ramsey going? Ramsey's going. Hello?
Just really quick. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
I see you have the letters there at the end before and I assume that the numbers are the dates, correct? When they fight. December.
Oh, I can tell. Yeah. The 9th. All this month.
So the letters, is that
the letters are the weight category. Welterweight, the first one. C is cruiserweight.
Okay. I thought that
H is heavyweight. I should have explained that. And then JF is junior featherweight.
What is H? What weight is
heavyweight?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the easiest one. Just looking at and when you had the weights up there, at 10, at 12 years old, I was probably flyweight. At 12, I was 130 pounds. I was nice, stocky built, played football. Okay. Saying I couldn't see myself. And I actually tried boxing. That made me more determined to play football. I was about 12, 13. I had like 3 matches. I was like 2-1. I'll say I was 2-1 because the third fight, although I did okay, I got hit enough to realize football was it. No more. And I grew up in the home of Muhammad Ali, and everybody loved Muhammad Ali. And what made me do it, I saw him speak when he was suspended.
Okay.
He came and he gave a speech, and my father took me, and I swear he was up on the podium, but I swear it seemed like he was 25 feet tall, just listening to him, and he was speaking with so much conviction, and he was so determined. And then as I got older, because outside of the community, they never talked about him in school.
Right.
So as you get older, and the bridge is still up, when they talk about how he threw his gold medal over the bridge,
okay,
it just, his story just became even bigger and greater. And I knew where his mother lived. His father used to come down to the neighborhood where I was and, hand out $1, 50 cents, and, play box with everybody. So that was a big thing for me. And I got to get close to him one time as a man. He came to a football game, and he was like 4 rows in front of me, and I was like, this is my time. This is my time, my idol, So when I got there, it was just talking to him. I didn't say too much, but hey, how you doing? I love you, blah, blah, blah. And him to respond back, thank you. And that was it.
Yeah. Hey, so anybody, you into any boxing at all?
Not much. If I'm being honest, like at one point, very much into the heavyweights. When I was coming up, it was, Tyson, Burbick, Razor Ruddock, Buster Douglas.
You way back there. I hear you. Yeah, but you're right. Yeah. That's when these guys used to fight each other.
Riddick Bowe was your man, wasn't he?
Yeah, they used to fight each other, man. The big guys Pinklin Thomas, Ron Lyle, George Foreman, for the Frazier Ali fights, that's me way back when. That Thriller in Manila was was a special fight, man. I don't care if anybody who really wants to see a prize fight got to go see that on replay. I mean, those two guys, it was like 115 degrees in the ring. And neither one of those guys was the same after that fight.
No.
So they tried to kill, and that was 15 rounds. I think they stopped it in the 15th. I think Frazier couldn't come out for the last round, if I'm not mistaken.
And wasn't the gloves a lot smaller back then too?
I
So
think so.
gloves, he was fighting with burn
It
knuckles.
was pounding each other, man. But it was something else, man. I remember those fights. But anyhow, but there's still some the matchups are there, but they try to pay-per-view so many matchups. And some of them ain't worth pay-per-view. They should just be free. But Joshua from England is fighting, and so is Dante Wilder. But they're fighting two guys. They're getting paid from Saudi Arabia, so they're getting a lot of money. But they're fighting everybody except each other. That's what people want to see. They don't want to see them fight no other. Fighting, we want to see you fight each other. So after that, then this guy Bivol, he's supposed to be fighting. He beat Canelo Alvarez. And so there's a couple of good fights here, but they're not. None of these things are earth-shattering, but they're going to try to get pay-per-view out of a few of them. And but I might watch some of them a little bit, especially since I'm doing this. But there's a sister who does boxing. I don't know if you guys know her on YouTube, Lady Chan. She's from England, and all she talks about is boxing on her channel. It's kind of weird. She's got her accent and shit. She's all into it, man. She go crazy over boxing. So it's weird to see her. Say what?
So, Brother Payne, did you watch because I haven't seen it yet, what's his name, Tyson Fury's last fight?
Yeah, I did.
Who you think won that fight?
Listen, champions always get one of those. You get one of them. That's his. He deserved to lose. But sometimes you have a lackluster. He hasn't fought in a long time. So that was a give me because all the money's with him. All the money, sometimes they just follow the money, man. So wait a minute, man. He can't lose this fight. There's too much money. Because I think if he fought that same guy after a couple of fights under his belt, I don't think it would even be close. That's what I'm thinking. So I don't know if they have a rematch scheduled or not, so we'll see. I ain't worried about it, but it was a give me, man. They gave it to him. That's the bad part about boxing. Anyway, so I didn't want to stick too much on that, fellas. This is pretty much the last I had on the list. A little bit of boxing news. I didn't want to not say something. Oh, of course, the last fight of Ryan Garcia, and you guys might not know him. He stole Mayweather's shoulder roll. So he was fighting. He just had a recent fight. So he was doing Mayweather's show, and everybody was telling him, first of all, you're doing it wrong. And they said, you got to stop immediately. Stop doing the Mayweathers. And Mayweather came out and said, man, that's mine. Stop doing my little, shoulder roll. So he couldn't get hit. He looked so funny trying to do it. But, what I was thinking about, if you guys were into that fight, Ryan Garcia, his last fight, flattery. I mean, what's that? What's the best form of flattery? When you steal something, copying is the best form of flattery, something like that. If you have a style in fighting and somebody tries to use it, you're not supposed to get mad because the actual style of fighting is how you steal somebody's techniques, right? Kung Fu was a technique, right? So that you teach people the technique on how to do it. So the shoulder roll, Mayweather took it from his father and perfected it. So it was a good defense. So this guy Ryan tried to do it in the ring. It looked real awkward, man. It was funny. So he's taking a lot of flack. He won the fight. He knocked the guy out, which was a saving grace. But all people could talk about him was stealing Mayweather's shoulder roll defense. But that's that. If you got to be into boxing, the funny thing about that, especially Mayweather getting mad that somebody stole his shit. But other than that,
didn't Ali made statements on how he took techniques from the greatest boxers before him and used it as needed? And in boxing, you have to be able to be versatile because all opponents are not the same.
Right.
So I can see Floyd, he is a little cocky and feel like, but he even admits he adjusts on the fly. Every technique he's used, I've seen it in other boxers before him. So I don't know. It's just odd that somebody would say that's mine. No, it's not yours.
Well, I'm gonna okay, gentlemen, say listen, I really appreciate you guys popping up, man. So I know we're almost going on 2 hours. But I mean, what my first breaking the ice on the live, I think I had a good time going through this. I appreciate your, input. And maybe I'll make some adjustments. Maybe it's too many topics or whatever. But I'm gonna be out there looking for good stuff to talk about. The sport, and plus some of the controversies around it. And what the hell, man? And sometimes those streams will be an hour long. Sometimes it'll be a little shorter. Who knows? Or 2 hours, a little longer. Any other parting shots there, fellas?
The only parting shot I got is at you, sir. And it's a good shot. So, thanks for having me. I saw the link that you sent me a little bit earlier. I only had one kid that needed to do some homework, and we were able to get through a good chunk of it. So, like I said, if I got time, I'll pull up, man. I appreciate you and everything you do.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate the kind words. What about you, Trey? What's going on?
I watched you over the last, 5 or 6 months, met you on other channels. I think, it's brave of you to sort of start embracing this and taking on the challenge, being an older guy. You're going to take flight, but you stand, you stand 10 toes down. So I admire that. So like I said, I come up with you anytime. I go to bat with the Boomers. I'm batting with the Boomers.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from y'all, on the good and the bad. So hey, I'm gonna ride with it.
All right, gentlemen. I appreciate it. And with that, man, our pain, marriage, politics, and sports. Over and out. Later.
Peace out, brother.
Peace out.
Yeah.